we visit the supermarket and pick out fresh fruits and vegetables, of course, we assume these products were grown and cultivated on a farm just as they have been since the beginning of time. The process of growing food seems simple. Seeds, dirt, water, and sunlight. What more could be needed? After conducting research, it turns out that within the last 20 years, the food industry has undergone many changes. In 1994, the first genetically modified tomato, the Flavor Saver, appeared in supermarkets around the country. Now, many of the foods we eat and products we use are actually genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. Currently, there are no requirements to inform the public about GMOs, and labeling these products isn't required as they sit on shelves. First, genetically modified organisms are the unknown that could potentially put us at risk. Genetically modified organisms are becoming more and more common, but most people aren't sure what they actually are. Genetic modification is a complicated process that involves changing the genetic makeup of an organism by mutating, inserting, and deleting genes rapidly and on a huge scale. Biotechnology techniques are used to warp the genes of the original organism. According to George Erdosh, it is estimated that 60 to 70% of all processed foods available on shelves contains GMOs. Not enough is known about GMOs to be fully confident in their safety. Since they haven't always been used, researchers are unsure of what long-term effects they could possibly have. There have not been enough studies or enough data to conclude exactly what can occur. Many major chemical and food corporations have raised over $20 million to make sure GMOs are not labeled and bills are not passed to make labeling mandatory. Why would they do this? It seems if GMO products were not harmful, then there is no reason to oppose labeling. In addition, most products we consume could contain GMOs without us even knowing it. Consumers have the right to be informed of what they are purchasing and what they are eating. The United States is slacking when it comes to labeling these products. 64 other countries already label products that contain genetically modified organisms. According to Consumer Reports, 92% of Americans believe foods containing GMOs should be labeled before they're sold in stores. Consumers do have the right to be informed of what is in the food they are eating. It is unfair for us to be completely unaware of scientifically created organisms in produce we eat and products we use. When it comes to allergies, it only makes sense to label genetically modified products so we can be aware of what might put us at risk. These products should be treated just as a gluten product, where they are labeled to inform consumers of potential risk and allow us to be fully aware of what's going into our bodies. Furthermore, our country should be on the same track when it comes to labeling these organisms. All states should be on board with labeling and have the same regulations. People who oppose labeling think labels would scare consumers. However, labels set a standard for the country as a whole. With labeling, no state would get left behind, and the food industry would operate more smoothly. More than 24 states are already considering bills to label GMOs, but most have been rejected by voters. So far, only Maine and Connecticut have actually passed these bills and put labeling into effect. Fixing the labeling issue would be simple. Andrew Kimbrell informs us, one simple line that reads, "Produced with genetic engineering," on the package would be of little cost to producers and wouldn't cost consumers a dime. According to a recent analysis, adding a small label to each product would add less than a penny a day to each American's grocery bill. Taking all this into consideration, as our world becomes more scientifically focused, we must pay attention to what we consume. It is so important to make sure that each American is informed as to what they are eating and using on a daily basis. The first step to ensuring we are making the best choice is to enforce the labeling of GMOs. Requiring labels on genetically modified organisms nationwide will only boost our knowledge and make us all better consumers when we're faced with the choice of which fruit or vegetable to put into our shopping cart. Thank you.